Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM. AM 630. WMAL.
You know, Brian and MK, in these uncertain economic times, you need a man who's going to give it to you straight. You need a guy who will tell you how the cow ate the proverbial cabbage. And it helps if that person will do so while using an impeccable British accent. And when I need all those things, the man that I think of is Stuart Varney of your Fox Business Network, who joins us now on the line with what I think is going to be some good news. Hey, Stuart, how are you?
Brian, I'm going to put a smile on your face this morning.
I hope so.
Believe it.
There we go. Let me give it to me, baby. I'm ready.
All right, get ready for this. They've got a deal on debt in Europe. Wall Street loves it. The stock market is going to open sharply higher, and in about an hour, we're going to get some very welcome good news on the economy. How's that grab you?
All right, so Tick, I mean, look, I did see that, futures up about 200?
Yes,
something like that?
Dow futures up about 200 points, and NASDAQ up maybe 50.
And late yesterday, a rally up 162?
Yeah, you could see the Dow hit 12,000 today.
Yeah, baby.
This morning.
I like that. Now, what's the other news, the good economic news you have for us?
Well, you've got GDP numbers. How much is America's economy growing or otherwise coming out at 8:30 Eastern? Odds are we're going to see growth of over 2%, which is a real improvement over the 1% rate earlier this year. And it means no recession. Certainly not in the immediate future. No double dip. Now, the stock market likes that as well as liking the European debt deal. So it's all around a rosy picture for investors this morning. Your 401k, read the statement, Brian, okay? Read the statement this time. You're going to like it.
I'm looking forward to the day.
Now, I've heard this before, Stuart, about them having a deal in Europe and everything's going to be hunky-dory.
And here are the Gloom sisters,
Who's
okay?
to say this does not fall apart in a week or, there's more concerns? Does this just take us down that road again?
I regret to say you are right yet again.
No! I was hoping to be wrong.
They've got a deal in principle. It's a three-part deal, but again, I stress, in principle. The details have to be worked out. The structure of how this thing actually works has to be worked out over the next month. Now, whether they can work it out, I don't know, but at the moment, they've got this deal in principle. Now, remember, if it doesn't work out, if there's a huge disagreement, the whole thing blows up, then everybody knows you've got a catastrophe on your hands. Okay? So the losers in this deal are anybody who's lent money to Greece. You're only going to get 50 cents on the dollar back again.
Wow.
Italy is another big loser. Berlusconi is going to be out very soon, I confidently predict. And they've had to raise their retirement age, horror of horrors, to 67 in Italy, which is a big deal for them. So they are the losers here, but the details will tell us who else is going to lose as the next month rolls on.
All right, so the Greek bondholders are taking the biggest haircut here, 50%, as you said. Here's what I want to know. Has Greece actually taken the right steps to prevent this in the future? And by that, I mean, they're not going to be running any deficits anymore? And is there anything that can bind them to make sure that they are doing the right things fiscally?
They made promises.
That's it.
So far, they've not put them into practice. They promised to raise more tax revenue. They've imposed measures which should raise more tax revenue. So far, the results have been negligible. They have not raised what they thought they were going to raise. So they've made promises, so far unfulfilled. But can they pay back 50 cents on the dollar? I don't know. But that's the promise that has been made. That's the cut that they have taken.
If all of the agreements are come to and it does go through smoothly, is this agreement a finished product, an actual solution, or is it another stopgap measure?
No, it's a stopgap measure. It really does. It kicks things down the road for quite some time. It is not a total, complete solution to the overall problem. Europe spends too much. They're too much in debt. They can't get out of that debt. They have to be rescued. Will they fall into even more debt in the future because they're in recession? Will things get worse a year from now and they've got to go and revisit it all over again? Odds are yes.
A cautionary tale for our own government.
Who?
Yes, really? That's very true. But remember this. If the Europeans, those crazy Europeans, if they can negotiate this deal up against a deadline, maybe our super committee can negotiate some kind of deal by November 23rd. I mean, who knows?
We could dream on and hope that. I'm not sure.
Who are the bondholders? Are these European banks?
Yes.
Okay, so
that's correct.
So
the banks lose a ton of money, and so the European Rescue Fund will put some money into them, and they'll have to raise approximately $130 billion of their own.
Okay, so you're going to have this super fund then. It comes from the actual countries. So you're talking Germany, France are helping to offset the banks for their 50% that they're losing on this Greek deal.
Yeah, strangely enough, the countries which are in dire need of help will have to contribute to the help fund. France has to contribute 200 billion euros. Italy has to contribute some. I don't know exactly how much, but they've got to put some money in that pile, which will then be doled out to help them through their debt crisis. So you've got a circular thing,
right.
A circular execution squad going on here.
I can imagine. I mean, if we had this problem here, I mean, the fight that we would be having about saving banks or saving states would be ridiculous, but at least we're all Americans. I can't imagine how it is in Europe when you're saying, hey, I got to pony up to save another country. I mean, it's a lot trickier in Europe than it even is actually here, don't you think?
Oh, you've got 17 members of the Eurozone. They've all got to agree, and that's why you've got such an intense crisis left to the very last minute to get any kind of agreement at all. Yeah, 17 different countries negotiating a single crisis resolution is not a recipe for success.
All right, Stuart. Good to talk to you as always. We appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure,
it's
Stuart.
Good news stew this morning. Okay?
Yeah, good news, Stu.